Today we're going to make one of my favorite beet kvasses. We're going to make a golden ginger turmeric beet kvass with orange. Both ginger and turmeric have anti-inflammatory properties, so I love to add those two together to give it a special punch. The ingredients you'll need are 3 large beets, a fingerful of ginger, a fingerful of turmeric, and I also add turmeric powder because turmeric's really expensive, and 38 grams of salt. So how about we get started? Oh my gosh, look at the gift I got from my friend Erin. I'm so excited. Preserving food without freezing or canning. There's so much in here that I'm excited to read. I'll share it with you as I go through it. As with all of our ferments, you're going to want to wash your vegetables thoroughly. This is a big beet. Look at that. It's another big one. So here are those ingredients again. We have 3 large beets. We have 38 grams of salt. We have turmeric, ginger, and turmeric powder, just for an added kick. We're going to use a gallon jar and an airlock. So let's cut up these beets. You're going to want to cut them into 1/2 inch to 1 inch pieces. You're going to cut the bottom and the top off because they have roots and things coming out of them. I'm going to slice it in half. Take that half and slice it again. So I have 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take this, all 3 pieces, and slice into strips like this. And then back this way. Golden. I'm going to continue slicing and come back to you when we're all done. And there we have it. 3 beets chopped, 1/2 to 1 inch pieces. I'm going to move on to the ginger and turmeric. Turmeric is quite expensive. It's like $7.99 for a pound. So then I use my turmeric powder, which has some of the punch as the fresh, but it just gives it more of that golden color. Ginger isn't usually that expensive. It's about $3.99 a pound. I use about as 1/3 of a pound. Make sure you wash both your turmeric and your ginger. Both of these are organic, so I'm not worried about peeling them or scrubbing them. I just want to rinse off any dirt that might be left on them. So I'll start with the ginger. I'm going to use all of it because I like that gingery flavor. I'm going to slice them into like sizes with the beets, so they're about the same size. That way things will ferment evenly. And with the turmeric, I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, I think I'm going to cut it a little bit smaller because I want more of the flesh exposed. Look at that. It's kind of a sweet potato color, isn't it? Yeah. There we go. So there's my blend of golden beets, turmeric, and ginger. I need to put some turmeric powder in there and sprinkle in my salt. So I'm not going to measure this exactly. I'm going to put in about a 1/2 capful of turmeric. And normally I wouldn't do this. I would salt it in the jar, but I'm going to salt it in the bowl so that it is evenly distributed. Notice I'm wearing gloves because I'm going to touch the turmeric powder and it's going to turn my hands. So here I go. See that? Get all of that mixed in, evenly distributed. Oh, that earthy turmeric smell is coming out. I forgot, I'm also going to add an orange so that we get some strong citrus flavor in there. I love citrus in beet kvass, and an orange is perfect for the job. So we're just going to cut it in quarters. Remember to wash it also. All right, let's just get all of that in there. Ah! I'm just throwing this stuff all over the place, aren't I? And the last little bit. There we go. Okay, to the vegetables, I'm going to add 2 quarts of water. Here in St. Paul, we have really good water, and I haven't had any problems fermenting. A lot of people would say there's a lot of chemicals in the water. That may be true. I haven't had any problem with our water quality here in St. Paul, Minnesota. So, we're going to add this to the ferment. 2 quarts of water equals 38 grams of salt. The salt is already in there, so we will have a 2% brine once I get the water down over it. Here's another thing I do. I take a page out of my sauerkraut making and I take the leaves, the outer leaves of an organic cabbage, and press them down over the beet kvass ferment. And it keeps the vegetables and the fruit under the water, along with my sour stones on top, so that we have a safe and bacterial-free ferment. I'm going to fold up this leaf a little bit, not much, and I'm going to tuck it down. This time I'm going to keep the ribs because it'll act as a stabilizer. Take it and press it down. Anything that comes up, try to push it back under the leaf. Here's another one I'll go the other way with. One of the good uses of cabbage leaves is that they're really good for starting a ferment. I don't know why, but cabbage tends to ferment faster than any other vegetable I've worked with. So adding it to a beet kvass helps get the fermentation started. One of the reasons I started making my own beet kvass is because I noticed the main ingredient in most beet kvasses on the shelf was cabbage. And yes, we were getting beets, but the first ingredient on the jar of beet kvass was cabbage. So I'm going the opposite way around. I have beets and other vegetables and cabbage to hold down the vegetables, not to flavor. Here are my sour stones. I'm going to use 2 of them. 1 and 2. This should start to ferment in 24 to 48 hours, and I should have a good golden ginger turmeric orange beet kvass in 3 to 4 weeks. Oftentimes in my ferments I get something called calm yeast. I'll put a link down below that tells what calm yeast is. It is not dangerous, but it may produce an off flavor if it isn't taken care of right away. To prevent that, I use a piece of plastic wrap, screw on my lid. I use a skewer to poke a hole through that plastic wrap, and then I put my airlock on. For some reason, this helps me prevent calm yeast on my ferments. So it's a technique I came up with that seems to work well. So there we have it. We have a golden ginger turmeric beet kvass with orange. We made it today, 12/21, and we will check on January 11th. It'll probably be ready by then. I look forward to you coming back and tasting it with me. Thank you for coming by my kitchen. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. And then also, if you're just subscribing now, press the bell so you can get notified when I'm coming back to see you. Thanks